Welcome back, everybody, to Cats Coverage. We're here for another off-season basketball podcast, but today we don't have our co-host Michael Epps with us, nor do we have producer Tim behind the scenes. But it is me, Jansen Hoskins, and special guest Twany Beckham. How you doing today, man?
What's going on, man? I'm doing well. Thank y'all for having me.
Yeah, excited. I'm excited. So there's a lot of buzz around town. Unfortunately, we're not getting to watch postseason basketball right now, but we will still have some form of basketball coming to Rupp Arena in a couple of weeks. The TBT tournament with the team La Familia. For fans who aren't familiar with it, I know they've seen the posts on Twitter and all that. All the fans. It's getting a lot of interaction. Can you just give them a quick insight of, just a recap of what that's going to be like this summer?
Yeah, so it's what TBT is. It stands for the basketball tournament, and it's the way it's formatted is just like March Madness. It's 64 teams competing in different regions for a chance to win $1 million. And fortunately for me in Lexington and a lot of people that's on our team, we got that opportunity to have first ever official UK alumni basketball team that's going to compete in the tournament.
Yeah. And it's really special because you grew up in Kentucky, was in Louisville, played for Ballard, if I'm not mistaken. Came to UK and won a title. You were here for 2 seasons, I believe. Kind of want to get in a little intro here about your time just growing up in the state. You know how much Kentucky basketball means. You even got to see it on the as close as access as anyone, and you got to live the ultimate dream of being a Kentucky kid and winning a title. Kind of want to get your thoughts on what that experience was like, and please don't hold back at all on this.
I got you, man. From the time I was in the fourth grade, man, from the time I can remember that, I had a dream. My dream was to play basketball at Kentucky. Um, and I did everything I could in my life to make that dream come true. I was one of the better players in my community. Like you said, I went to Ballard High School and had an incredible high school career. But I wasn't recruited by UK coming out of high school. I went to prep school and then had a chance to go play in Mississippi State where we came back to Lexington and played UK in Rupp Arena. But also, when I was in high school, I played in Rupp Arena twice. I played in the state tournament twice. And just the way God works, man. My career was an incredible journey. And then just to be able to lead me back to Kentucky the year that, my first year we go to a Final Four with the team with Brandon Knight. And then my second year, we get guys in like Anthony Davis and Marcus Teague and that group of freshmen that came in, and then we won a national championship. It was incredible to have the opportunity to experience something like that. And I couldn't have asked for a better way to just, start my journey and journey as being a Kentucky basketball player.
Yeah, I mean, and oddly enough, it's been what 12 years now since we've won a title. That was quite some time ago. And I know you had went to Mississippi State and then transferred into Kentucky. If you can, for the ones who the younger fans who might have not been around that time, what was that process like? Deciding. I mean, I know it was probably an idea you couldn't turn down. It's hard to turn down and come back and play for Kentucky. But what kind of brought you back, and what was that kind of process like coming back to Kentucky?
Well, when I first approached my coach at Mississippi State about transferring, I had in my mind to come back home and play somewhere close to, home where my mom and brothers and friends could see me play. So it was coming back home and thinking about schools like Western, Eastern, Morehead, schools like that. And I had some other mid-major schools around the country recruiting me as well. Never in a million years did I ever think that Kentucky would become calling, or if I would even have that opportunity. So I had the opportunity to meet with Coach Cal, and Cal presented an opportunity for me to be a part of the team and to earn every second of playing time that I was going to get. But he also told me that I recruit the best of the best, so it might not be no playing time here. Everybody in my family or in my circle told me not to go to Kentucky, but I knew what going to Kentucky would do for me personally and professionally. So I made the decision to go to Kentucky, and it paid off dividends. The two Final Fours, national champion. I got friends that are NBA superstars. Still close to Coach Cal. People in this community have supported me ever since I got here, and still support me still to this day. So, it was the best decision I ever could have made.
Yeah, I mean Kentucky's, as you know, major spotlight, and you'll spend the rest of your life, being forever known. Yeah, you played for Kentucky, you'll get noticed
Right.
all over the state. It's just,
Right.
as I'm telling you anything you don't already know, but we don't have a pro team, so it's Kentucky basketball and football is everything and you grew up right here in
Still
that.
having the opportunity to play and be a part of the U of L UK game,
Mhm.
with the dream come true. So, man, UK basketball is everything to this state. It's everything to us in Lexington. And man, I'm just so proud and so thankful that I was able to be a part of it and put that jersey on.
Yeah, definitely. That's everybody's dream, but most of us weren't physically as blessed as, and as talented as you. So, that's a dream I will never get to live. But I'm so excited. There's people that have gotten to do that, and especially with Reed Shepard coming this year. It was really exciting to really get to see all that happen. Before we kind of segue into the TBD tournament, what's your thoughts, kind of like how Reed Shepard went through his freshman year? And I don't think many people projected him to be a projected draft pick. Maybe a multi-year guy. He actually said in one of his interviews when he committed that if they need me to get the water, I'll get the water. And now he's coming off the bench, being a projected top 10 draft pick. What's the Reed Shepard era kind of been like in your mind?
Yeah, well, I watched him a little bit in high school, and in high school, I was a player that loved to pass. I had a very high IQ, and so the first time I seen Reed, I said, "Damn, he can really pass the ball." We all know he could score, he could shoot it, but it was about the way he got his teammates involved and just his IQ on the court. So I didn't know what his opportunities would be like, because we had a lot of freshmen coming in this year that were highly ranked. But he was a McDonald American well as well. So when he got his opportunity, and I think the first or second time where I think first he showed fans that he could play when they went played in the games in Toronto last summer. I think he opened a lot of people's eyes then. And then this year, when he got his opportunities, he took advantage of them. And then as the season kept going, you could see his confidence continue to rise. So then it became a expectation of Reed, like, oh my God, Reed's now one of our best players. We expect this from him every single night, and I think he rose to the occasion as best as he could. Hope he stays.
Yeah.
But if he puts his name in and he continues on his journey after Kentucky, I wish him well. He's a Kentucky kid, so I was rooting for him, and it just felt good to see that somebody from Kentucky can have that type of impact at this incredible university. I mean, it meant a lot just to be able to watch it and take that in, a Kentucky kid on the biggest stage, doing those type of things.
Yeah, I selfishly wish he would stay too, but if I was in that position, there's no telling what all is going through his head, and it's about getting the first contract and like life changing money, and we'll never know all the things he's got to battle, but I can't blame him one way or the other. But as a Kentucky kid as well, I would love to see another year of him, and I think a lot of people would too.
Right.
But I did really want to get into the TV tournament. So I think y'all have got four commitments already that are public. Willie Cauley Stein, Eric Bledsoe, Deron Lamb, and Reed Travis.
Yep.
Uh, what's those conversations with those four have been like? I saw where Cauley Stein said he was like, I would go give up all my career earnings just to go back and play at UK again and experience that again. It's real special. It can tell, especially with them coming back. What have those conversations been like? And was it an easy sell to get them to return?
Yeah, I mean, one thing Coach Cal tells us, Coach Cal, before practice, we always meet. And one thing he's always said, and one thing that stuck with me was, no matter if you go on to be an NBA superstar or if you go on to be great in business or whatever it is that you do in your journey, you will never have the type of bond that you have with the guy sitting in this locker room. Like, once you're done and you leave here, everybody becomes about themselves. And so that's one thing that always stuck with me is, man, playing here with these guys and playing in front of these fans and supporters and just being around this community, you would never have another experience like this. And so when I've gotten on the phone with guys and have kind of pitched, what coming back and playing in Rupp Arena in front of these fans would feel like, I mean, it wasn't really a hard sell or a hard pitch. Guys already knew and understood. So, I'm just excited to have the four guys we have committed so far. We got a couple of more huge announcements coming within the next couple of weeks. I think we're announcing our head coach, and our coaching staff within the next couple of weeks as well. I think I think the community is gonna love who our head coach is. And man, I'm excited, man, just for these, just to get these guys back in town, be around them, fellowship with them, and for these guys just to feel the love of BBN. It's gonna be amazing, man. I can't wait for them guys to get in town.
Yeah, all those guys are loved here. Kentucky supports all their players that go off to the NBA. But the thing is, we support them from a distance, and we don't get to see them a whole lot. I know in the last 2 years, John Walls came back a bunch, and just that, and then Tyler Eulis being on staff, it's just those have spoke volumes. Like people are so excited just to see them around the program, and it makes them feel back when things were really rolling in that first part of Cal's tenure here. And
Right.
I can only imagine when those guys get back into Rupp. I guarantee it's going to be sold out, but like how loud, how excited, how one-on-one it's going to be. They're going to take it all in. I'm like, really excited to see all that.
You imagine like the only time that these guys get an opportunity to come back and play meaningful basketball is typically in like a alumni game or an all-star game or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, now you're coming back and you're having an opportunity to put the jersey on and play for something. You know what I mean? Like and play for something. So I mean that you couldn't ask for a better opportunity. I'm so glad TBT chose Lexington, because I think TBT also understood how big this could be with
Yeah.
having a youth team involved. So, man, it's going to be amazing. I know the fans are going to come out, and these guys are. We've talked about it in our meetings, man. I mean, this isn't a all-star game type atmosphere. I mean, guys are going to be coming at your neck. It's just how when you were in school, every team that we played on the road was the team Super Bowl. I mean, guys coming into Rupp Arena, going to be their Super Bowl as well. So, we got to come and we got to be locked in and we got to be ready to play and put that work in because guys are going to be shooting for our next.
Yeah. So if I understand correctly, the tournament's 64 teams, 8 regions, but it's all to win $1 million. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So, and you said it's set kind of like an actual March Madness tournament. So there's going to be different levels of games going, like the Sweet 16, Elite Eight, and going all the way
Yeah.
through. Okay.
So how the platform has been set up is we'll play 3 games, and then I think what TBT is doing is I think is awesome. So Louisville is a region as well. So Louisville's TB team will be playing again this year, and if we win 3 games and they win 3 games, then we could potentially play them and get out of like this area's region. But
Oh,
where where that game will be played at is dependent upon which region has the most fans in attendance for the 3 games. So hopefully, we don't have a problem with that, and we can come out and win 3 games, and then have a much more bigger attendance than Louisville, and we can bring Louisville down to Lexington. That'd be the ideal scenario situation, and that game would be crazy because Louisville's gonna have a stacked team as well.
yeah. I don't think there's going to be any issue getting Kentucky fans there. I mean, I'm sure you remember those days of what they were like, and Kentucky fans. We were primed and ready for some postseason basketball this year, and they kind of, I think it was cut too short, and it's got that feeling in our stomachs of we're ready to still see basketball. Football doesn't really set in until about August, September when the weather starts getting cold. So I would bet my last dollar Rupp Arena is going to be sold out, and I bet we crush those margins of.
Oh, I mean, you get you almost get the March Madness feel, and you get home games involved, and you know what I mean. So like, yeah, we came up kind of short in the tournament this year, but I mean now you got a chance to rally behind guys that you love, you saw play, guys
Yeah.
that love university. Now we're playing for a chance to go win, quote unquote, almost like a national championship, with it being, a tournament of 64 teams.
Yeah. And so we were kind of talking just a minute before we hopped on here. You are the GM of this tournament of Team La Familia. So what's that kind of look like for you? I know you're kind of correlating and getting the guys back, but is there what all goes in there that we're not aware of?
I mean, it's simply like I'm a GM for an NBA team. I mean, I gotta get guys to buy in, get guys committed. I'm setting up different opportunities for these guys when they're in town. Uh, I'm working back and forth with the TBT team on a weekly basis. I mean, from everything from getting the guys to organizing events. We got a whole marketing aspect to this. You got contracts you got to look over. So it's really giving me some experience that I'm loving getting.
Yeah.
So love it, man. It's been great so far. The guys have been good. The communication with the guys have been good. We have team meetings weekly with amongst our team and also TBT. So it's been fun, man. It's been fun, and I'm glad that I had the opportunity to serve in this role.
Yeah. You did say there are some that have already silently committed that we can't get into today, but can you kind of give fans just a little trailer of how excited they're going to be when they actually do get announced? Just a little
Yeah,
tease.
I'm excited. I mean, I can't give it away yet because we want to excitement for the announcements, but like I told you, fans are going to be excited about who our coach is. And we're going to fill out our coaching staff with Kentucky guys. So, I mean, it's really going to be a lot familiar type of experience with TBT. And, we are talking to, as far as players goes, you know,
Yeah.
Lexington, UK is going to be, fans are going to be excited for the players that we're bringing back. And right now, the team we've already put out there, I mean, it's a pretty damn good team.
Oh yeah, yeah. Fans have already went nuts online. The interaction's been great, and they're so excited, especially when you think about like the world of Eric Bledsoe and Cauley Stein, Deron Lamb. Those guys, I mean, they played here over a decade ago. It's Reed Travis was here more recent, but it's like longing for the past and longing for when, we were things were rolling and those great memories with those guys, and I know they're gonna be so excited. But I did wanna
It's
ask.
so tough too to put together a UK alumni team because
Yeah.
after we have in the NBA, that's the only kind of downside to TBT is like your NBA players can't play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I mean, you got to think of how many players we would have to choose from if we could use the NBA. But we got a lot of good guys that are still playing outside the NBA. So we've also had a lot of good guys that we can choose from. So which makes it easy on my part.
Yeah. Jansen, I'm not sure you can remember how fun that title game was in 2012. It's hard to think about that. It's been 12 years ago. Um, Kind of flashing back, watching 20 play, what's some questions do you have for him? Because this thing's I can already tell it's gonna be very exciting when it actually comes to Lexington.
Well, me and you, we've already talked about hopefully being able to get this whole tournament. It's 12 years ago. It seems surreal that it's been that long ago. But just my question is, what was the most exciting part about that just whole experience about being in Final Four for you, Twany?
And it was like he said at first, I'm a Kentucky kid. So playing in Kentucky was my dream. And never in a million
Yeah.
years that I would think that playing in Kentucky and getting that experience would, come to fruition. And so once we went through this regular season and we didn't lose a game in the SEC, then you started to think like, wow, well, we can win a national championship because you go through the season and the season has phases. You get the preseason. You got practice in the summertime, playing pickup, to now you got preseason, Big Blue Madness, Blue White game, and then you go through your games early on, the non-conference games, then you go through SEC. I mean, there's so many different phases that you have to get through where everybody got to stay connected. Everybody got to stay as one group, because at that point, guys are starting to have breakout seasons. Guys are starting to really show who they are. So you got NBA guys starting to think about the NBA. But the great thing about that is I think one of my most things that I enjoyed as being on the team is the way we stayed together and the way we stay as one team through all the ups and downs of our season. I mean, we only lost 2 games that year.
Yeah.
And so that's something that too is a victory in itself, going through college basketball season, only losing 2 games. But I would say when those fireworks went off inside the Superdome, clock hit zero, man, it put life into perspective. One for me, my mom was in the audience. My mom's favorite team, even until when she passed away, was Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
So what was the irony of,
Yeah,
us being in the championship game and playing against my mom's favorite team? So just seeing the way my mom had a smile on her face and it kind of gets me emotional. Was I don't know, man, I'm at a loss for words when I talk about that. But
yeah.
incredible experience, man. I couldn't even put that into words really. It's like a movie.
Mm-hmm.
I can imagine, man, growing up Kentucky, just finally getting that decision to come back. And it didn't like you started. You started at Mississippi State, worked your way, and you got the conversation with Cal, and then lived out a dream and capped it off with the championship. Just exciting, man. I wish I could just go back and watch every game of the season and just relive it. I'm sure there's days that you probably do that as well, just reliving, Kentucky basketball winning the title. Nothing better. I mean, that's what all we want here.
It's like I see videos on the internet, like on X or Instagram or whatever on YouTube. Sometimes, man, you'll be watching, the tournament and they go back to, old commercials or whatever, or they run it ads and you just see our 2012 team celebrating on stage and like to see like my face, right up there with those guys. It's like something that my kids and my family and so many people that's coming up in my family that, we're our kids now are not even born will be able to see.
Yeah.
Crazy. That's something nobody can ever take away from me.
20, do you have any, I know you got your ring and everything, but you got any other memorabilia that you kind of keep close by? You always check out maybe a jersey hanging up on the wall, something from that run with Kentucky that is still with you today, 12 years later?
Yeah, I mean, as you can see behind me, there's my jersey.
I
I'm
didn't
not
even see that. Wow.
sure. That's the alternate jersey we wore against Tennessee. That gray jersey. We only wore it one time when Tennessee came to Rupp Arena that year. But I have my ring. I keep my ring close by. And one thing that I love about having a championship ring, so I'm a motivational speaker. So when I go back to like my community in Louisville, especially like where areas where I come from in Louisville, I love taking my ring
Yeah.
and like kids to be able to see that, touch that, allow them to feel it, so they can know whatever your dream is, man, you can achieve it. And you're looking at somebody that achieved their dream, and not only just achieve my dream by putting a Kentucky jersey on, I won the national championship there. So you can accomplish things far beyond your dreams. And so I love having my ring and allowing people to just to see it and touch it, because I mean it's just a real thing. Everybody, a lot of people in the state are diehard Kentucky fans. But I have all throughout my house, man. I got jerseys, I got different pictures of me and the guys. One of my famous pictures I have up in my house is Anthony Davis blocking a shot against Arkansas, and I'm getting a rebound. And I think I go the full length court, and I think I get an assist. But like being on the court with one of the best players to ever play here, all of that is such a real feeling, man.
Yeah, is there any small story you can share about your time at Kentucky? Maybe this guy was cracking up with you on a joke, or like just a story that never made it out that's allowed to get out. Just kind of reflecting on back on that. Either your first year or second year at Kentucky with one of your team.
I'll tell this story though. So when we lost to, and I wasn't eligible yet because I had to sit out half a season.
Yeah,
When I heard on the championship year, but so I didn't get to go. I didn't get to travel to Bloomington to play against Indiana. I watched the game with my family on the couch, sat on the couch, watched the game. And I didn't really know how tough Coach Cal was until we lost that game. I mean, I knew that because I was there the year before, knew he was a tough coach. I mean, he pushed us every day in practice. But when the team got back from that loss, uh, that practice the next day was probably the hardest practice I've ever endured in my life. And I mean, it was just one game. It was our first off of the season, and it was on the road. And you would have thought that our season ended. I mean, guys that next day were going at it, and in particular, Michael Kidd Gilchrist was insane. He was already a tough person to practice against, but he took that loss so hard that next day in practice, if you was in his way, you was you was
yeah,
gonna feel it out of practice. And so that was kind of like the first time that I understood like what it meant to really like embrace the UK
yeah,
jersey. Because I don't know if you all remember, I'm sure you do, but the guy hit the shot. Some of my teammates fell down and got trampled over. And it was just, man, it wasn't a good feeling. And I think there was one we talked as a team that we never want to have that feeling again. And I think we went on a crazy run that we should have beat Vanderbilt. I think we were winning by 6 and within the last 3 minutes of that game and in the SEC championship game, and then we lost. And then guys in the locker room were really emotional and upset.
yeah,
I remember the media coming out saying that maybe it was good for UK to lose a game, but none of us felt that way.
mhm.
We didn't want to lose a game. We had already went undefeated throughout the conference play, and so losing that that tournament championship game was I think humbled us a little bit more, and we was able to propel ourselves to go on to win a championship.
Yeah, and one thing that I think speaks volumes is the last few years we're still seeing things from Indiana fans talking about how they still talk about that shot. Like it was their
It showed on TV.
yeah. Yeah.
Like,
That was their championship. That's kind of crazy how far that fan base has went down, the last quarter of a century. But I think Kentucky, I think, got the last say in that and won the title, so that's always special.
ended up beating them in the Sweet 16
Yeah,
and Atlanta, so we got a rematch.
yeah. I'm glad we chose our championships wisely. That's their thing they celebrate. We won the championship that year, so I'm glad two different levels of programs there. Um,
Right.
But Twany, before we hopped out here and take too much of your time, kind of want to just kind of as we're getting prepared. I think it's July 19th to the 24th, if I'm not mistaken.
July 19th through the 25th, I think.
Okay.
And if we win our games, then we would go play in Philly in the Final Four. The Final Four being Philly. But I'm hoping that we win our games and then we travel to Philly and our fan base travels as well.
Yeah.
We could pack Philly out and give us a home court advantage away from home.
I feel like that's a truly unique scenario. Like I feel like especially as this team, it's already solid, but as y'all start to unleash more of who's going to be on this team, and fans just get more excited and have a couple months to kind of really soak it in and wait, you might get a crowd following y'all. You know how Kentucky fans are; they travel for everywhere for everything. Especially with getting some clips out of it and seeing these guys back in Rupp to get a little introduction to. I bet you they will follow you all to Philly.
Yeah. Like I said, we got some things that we're working on, planning. Like we're gonna do, might be do a camp with the guys, and I know for sure. I don't know if y'all saw it, but we're doing the bourbon collaboration with the team of Louisville. So we'll have our own specialized bottle, TBT La Familia. We posted it today on our social media account. And then we're looking at having an autograph signing with the guys. So, we're going to have some opportunities for, our supporters and fans to be able to come and, touch these guys, talk to them, take pictures, get autographs and stuff like that. But man, I'm just excited. This is going to be a special, special thing. And, my hope is that, we have this regional every year or for the next couple of years. So, Lexington and our fan base and opportunities or something to look forward to in the summertime.
Yeah. And so I think so far there's 4 of them announced. How many are y'all going up to make the full team?
The dream team for me will be 11,
11.
but anywhere between 9 and 11 is a sweet spot
Yeah.
for us. Yeah.
Well, I'm excited, Jansen. Before we let him go and not try to take up too much of his time, any additional questions you want to talk to Twany before we let him go for the night?
No other questions. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really thankful that you got this whole thing set up. So I'm just anxious for it to start and just see some, old faces back in Rupp again. So I appreciate that.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I think it'd be a real breath of fresh air, especially with things being down and you know how passionate Kentucky fans are. They're either extremely passionate about the good or the bad. So when things are bad, it gets real loud, and when things are good, it's real loud. So I expect this, this is gonna be real good, and then fans are gonna be real loud about this. And I honestly can't wait. I'm ready. I'm grateful that you hopped on here and decided to talk to us about it. I hope we can help promote as much as possible. Y'all don't need any additional help, but we're happy to do what little we can. And
Yeah.
appreciate you.
Um, I know you got connected to Brittany, so if you need me anytime, I want me to come on or whatever, just let her know. I'm open to helping promote as much as I can.
Yeah, we'd love to have you back, man. With 20, thank you, man. Hopefully we'll talk soon, and I cannot wait to see you guys pack in Rupp Arena. I'll be right there with you.
Yes, sir, man. You gotta be there, man. Yes, sir.
Bill.
Gotta be.
Yeah.
I got.
Thanks, man. Well, have a good night.
All right, y'all too. Take it easy.